In 1998, a small California company released a device that should have changed everything. A tiny digital music player that didn't need CDs, didn't skip when you moved, and didn't rely on fragile discs that scratched if you looked at them wrong. It was called the Diamond Rio PMP300, and for a brief moment, it was the most futuristic piece of audio technology in the world. Back then, portable music meant CD players. Big, clunky machines with spinning discs and laser lenses. They were fragile, they skipped constantly, and they were chained to a physical medium. But inside Diamond Multimedia, a few engineers were building something radically different. Music that wasn't physical, songs that lived as files, sound that could move from computer to pocket instantly. The Rio wasn't beautiful. It had 32 megabytes of memory, a tiny screen, and plastic buttons. But the moment you dragged your first MP3 onto it, you felt the future snap into place. No discs, no cases, no limits, just digital freedom. The excitement didn't last long. Within days of release, the music industry panicked. The Recording Industry Association of America filed a lawsuit demanding the device be banned entirely. They claimed the Rio was a piracy machine, that it would destroy music, that digital audio was a threat. It sounds absurd today, but in 1998, the industry truly believed portable MP3 players were dangerous. The courtroom battle was surreal. Lawyers argued the device shouldn't exist. Executives insisted consumers couldn't be trusted with digital files. Politicians warned it would end the music business as we know it. Meanwhile, early buyers loved it. They saw what it really was, the first glimpse of a world where your entire music library lived in your pocket. Against expectations, Diamond won the lawsuit. MP3 players were legal. Digital music wasn't a crime. The Rio could stay on shelves. But the fight had drained the company. They had no ecosystem, no music store, no marketing. Larger companies rushed in with competing players. Diamond had invented the future, but couldn't afford to scale it. Then came Apple. Steve Jobs watched the chaos and saw the opening. The Rio had proven the demand. The lawsuit had proven the legality. The industry was disoriented. Apple didn't invent the MP3 player, they perfected the system around it. The iPod succeeded because it wasn't just hardware, it was iTunes, the legal store, the integration. Where the Rio was a gadget, the iPod was a universe.
Process. So 2 new software features on the new iPod.
Dozens of companies tried to compete. Some MP3 players had color screens, some held more music, some predicted streaming years before it happened, but none had Apple's timing, discipline, or leverage. The early innovators were buried by the company that arrived right when the world was ready. By the early 2000s, the landscape was filled with abandoned ideas. Creative, Arcos, Eiger Labs, all overshadowed by one device. Diamond faded into obscurity. Their breakthrough became a footnote in a story dominated by Apple. The irony is impossible to ignore. The same music industry that tried to destroy MP3 players ended up depending on the iPod and iTunes for survival. The devices they once called dangerous became their lifeline. Today, the Rio PMP300 looks primitive, but in 1998, it was the spark that ignited everything that came after. Streaming, wireless headphones, playlists, digital libraries, music on phones, every digital listening experience traces back to a handful of engineers who believed music didn't need to live on discs. So what would have happened if the Rio hadn't been sued? What if MP3 players had exploded instantly instead of surviving a legal battle? Would Apple have dominated anyway? Would Diamond have grown into a tech giant? Would streaming have arrived earlier? How different would music history look if the industry had embraced innovation instead of fighting it? The Rio didn't fail because it was bad technology. It failed because it was too far ahead, too disruptive, too frightening to an industry built on physical products. Diamond created the future. Apple capitalized on it. And history remembers the company that won, not the one that arrived first. But every time you tap play on a song that doesn't exist on a disc, every time you listen to music that lives as pure data, you're holding a small piece of the world Diamond imagined before anyone else. For a brief moment in 1998, the future of music was real. We just weren't ready to accept it.